Sure. Yeah, just I was excited about how the guys battled on the road to get a tough win. Started out really rough with some mistakes. True freshmen in a couple spots that made some mistakes that got us in the hole, and obviously the fumble punt return by B.J. Edmonds trying to make a play, and he's done a great job of it all year. But to be down 18 and then to battle back and to play the way we did down the stretch to get a win against a good Monroe team, just really, really proud with all that this group has faced. They just keep battling and fighting and doing what we ask them to do to, try to salvage this season and find a way to get to another bowl game and claw our way back into the conference race. So I'm very, very proud. We've got the open week coming up this week, which comes at a great time because we're still dealing with a lot of injuries. We had another season-ending injury this weekend with Thomas Toki with an ACL. So we lose yet another guy. We've got several guys that are beat up, and both our kickers played injured throughout the course of the game. Blake Groupie and Damon Fonser both had to just kind of fight through injury to play, and really proud of how they battled. But this week comes at a good time. We've got to try to get healthy. We desperately want to find a way to win out. That's going to be a challenge with three good teams, starting with Coastal coming in next week. So we're going to focus on health and conditioning to make a stretch run, see if we can find a way to get it done.
Thank you, Coach. As a reminder to members of the media, star one to get in the queue. Our first questions come from Whitney Hayworth. Whitney, please go ahead.
Good morning, Coach. How are you?
I'm good.
Good to hear from you. Obviously, we'll preview Coastal Carolina next week, but going into the bye week, in addition to just the health and the injuries, what are some things offensively and defensively that you want that this team needs to improve on to get back in that conference race and be in talks for December?
Well, just with as many new bodies as we've got playing, I think we've started 37 new players this year, which is, if I'm not mistaken, it's definitely pretty high up, if not top 5 in the country, and how many new starters have gone on the field for us. A lot of those being freshmen and redshirt freshmen and guys that were not expected to play. Just the additional practices, just fundamentals and learning their jobs so we don't make mistakes and dig us an 18-point deficit. That's the key. So health and just improvement. Those are really the only two things we talk about. Take care of your bodies, doing everything right off the field so that guys' bodies are ready for the battle down the stretch, and then trying to improve mentally and physically so we can play a little bit better each week, which I think we're going to have to be able to win out.
And when you look at your wide receiving core, obviously they've been fantastic all year long. Doesn't matter who's at quarterback throwing them the ball, but they're going to execute well. And one of those players in particular is Omar Bayless. Just talk about how important he is to this team and how impressive he has been this season.
Well, it's an unbelievable year, and he's not done. So a ton of records and really put himself in a position to continue to play at the next level. The great thing about him is he just wants to win. He doesn't talk about how many catches or yards or touchdowns. He just goes to work. His work ethic has been, is what put him in position to do this. And I think he feeds off the other guys. They all love to see success for each other. I saw a graphic the other day. I think the only receiving core in the country to have accomplished what they have so far this season in terms of yards and catches collectively. That means you got to cover them all. I mean, Jay Adams and Dahu both stepped up big this week. Kirk Merritt led the league a year ago, and now you got Omar doing that. So it's great for recruiting for the future because people see what we can do. But mainly it's just a sense of comfort for a young quarterback that's been thrown into the fire. It's making Lane's job easier. I think it's even better now that Marcel is running the ball like he is. It truly it takes a lot of pressure off of Lane and allows him to go out and feel comfortable knowing he can get it to people that can make plays for him.
Well, Coach, thank you very much. I hope you enjoy the bye week and get some downtime that's much needed.
Thank you.
All right, thank you, Whitney. Our next questions come from Kevin Turtle, the Jonesboro Sun. Kevin, please go ahead.
Good morning, Coach.
Morning to Kevin.
I wanted to ask you about the guys who were named Player of the Week this morning, and obviously you already touched on Blake Groupie that he was dealing with an injury in Saturday's game. Could you just talk about to him and what Darion Jackson was able to do for you Saturday?
Well, Blake had kind of had a nagging hamstring injury, and honestly made it worse in pregame, and just kind of had to battle through pain and discomfort to get through the game, and he did a great job of that. He's only missed one all year, and The wind was whipping a little bit as well, and I thought he maneuvered that and played really well. Fought through pain to get it done. You could see on his face that he wasn't well. We're hoping that through the course of the open week we can get that taken care of so he can finish up well over the last three. Darian Jackson with the changes we made to the defense has been obviously a feature guy. He's in a position now to cancel out a lot of mistakes that could potentially happen in front of him, or really just kind of be an additional gap player. And we've asked a lot of him, and he's done a great job stepping in and getting people on the ground. So, the move was necessary, defensively to change the scheme, and having a guy that can tackle like he does and loves to be around the ball, that makes it possible.
You touched a little bit on the receiving core. Obviously, that's the biggest contribution Dahu's been able to give you so far this year. Just how nice was it to have that Saturday? And obviously, he made some huge plays for you.
Yeah, the big catch down the sideline that got us to the 4 and put us in position to get points, especially when you consider it was 3rd and 13 when the ball was snapped. Just his size and just the difficult matchup that he creates, especially when you got guys like Kirk and Omar playing out there. I mean, you got to decide how you're going to play people. And Jay does the same thing, another set of fresh legs and the ability to make big plays, takes a tremendous amount of pressure off the offense and really lets Lane have some confidence knowing if he can get around guys that they're going to go up and get it. So it's good to have Dahu back. I still don't think he's completely 100%, but hopefully, again, with him over the next week and a half, we can get him to that point. So he's able to help us a lot down the stretch.
One more thing, just Jarius Remenink at the cornerback. You touched a little bit on, I guess, some mistakes early in the game, but how did he play overall Saturday?
Well, I thought he got better and better as the game went on. Had a couple mistakes early, which are, kind of part of throwing a freshman out there, true freshman, a little nervous and chased the wrong guy on one, missed a tackle on another that gave up some explosives. But if you think about down the stretch when it got tight in 2-minute situations, he had several pass breakups. He defended really well on the vertical ball in a one-on-one situation against a good, veteran receiver and allowed us to survive and get the win. And he grew up a good bit throughout the course of that game. And, he's gonna get better and better each game because of it.
Thanks, Coach. Appreciate it.
Sure.
All right. Thank you, Kevin. Our next questions come from Brad Bovo with 95.3 Ticket. Brad, please go ahead.
Yes, so you guys, you mentioned and you touched on again that you had Poncham and Groupie both banged up, and then, there's no safety now. They were basically without a backup, weren't they?
Well, Tristan Mattson is out for a month with mono. That happened this past week. So, no, you're right. We really did not have a backup plan, and we knew that neither one of those guys were going to make things any worse, but that they were going to have to fight through pain to get their jobs done, and you could see at times that it affected the ability to have power. But and I was just really proud. It's not easy to go out there knowing when you swing your leg it's going to hurt, but you got to do your job. And they both toughed it out and did what the team needed them to do. And we got guys doing that on offense and defense. But when you put both kickers out in that situation and ask them to do the same, that's not normally something that you expect they have to fight through. And they both did a great job.